So, do you struggle with guilt? Are you someone that perpetually feels bad for anything and everything? And when I say anything and everything, I mean anything and everything. I mean, you didn't hold the door open for someone while they were walking through, and you just felt bad for the fact that you didn't do that. You felt bad because you didn't include someone. You felt bad because you ate a cupcake and you're trying really hard to eat healthy. Are you just someone that really feels guilty all the time? Do you have people that can guilt trip you and you automatically cave because of the fact that they guilt tripped you? You know, they sat there and they emotionally manipulated your feelings in order to have access to being able to control what you choose to do or what you choose to feel. Right? Right? I mean, someone that can like play that little violin and you just like put on the tears, you know, and then just like straight up, you know, feed you this whole story of how their sisters, aunts, cousins, nephews, brother, and all this stuff is like everything's falling apart, and you know, they're just like, you know, whatever. Or like they tell you about how their life is going and everything that's happened to them in life, and you know, just how they're the victim all the time. That they're guilting you. They're trying to make you feel bad. Look, as someone that has been perpetually used as that kind of person, I was controlled by guilt and shame. I mean, and fear. I was controlled by all of those. So, I'm telling you when I say that you could make me do anything out of guilt. If you put on this show of how you are so sorry and you'll never do it again, and I'd be like, okay. Yeah, no. So, why I bring this up is because of the fact that I have been working on my guilt. I have been working on, you know, are you someone that falls for the whole like fake scammers and stuff like that? Like, Lord, let me tell you that I fell for, back in the day, this was before like cell phones and all that other junk, the emails and everything. I wanted to buy a dog. I wanted to buy a Maltese puppy. And I found a website and I found all of this stuff, and I paid the money, and oh no, the dog has to be brought through customs and we need the extra something or other of money to be able to get that dog through customs. And I was one of those. It was me. Yep, you heard those scams? Yep, I was one of the victims. I was one of those dopey, derpy people that fell for it. And I'm okay with that because, you know, life lessons, you know. Because realize that where it stems from, where the ability to like trust others and to, you know, believe in that kind of stuff, the people that were supposed to protect you, the people that were supposed to be the ones that were supposed to take care of you, to teach you right from wrong, to do all of those things, were the main scammers. They were the ones that were scamming you the whole time. And you know it. And so that's why it's so easy to trust them, because you trusted the very first of the first of the first. Okay? So that means, let's be honest, and say that your gut instincts are off. Okay? So your gut's off. Your gut is what you go based off of. Okay? So, if you have an unhealthy gut, then you're going to suffer from being guilted into things. You're going to suffer from having to fall for the okie doke. You're going to, constantly be mad at yourself for falling for things. You're going to constantly be you're going to constantly feel bad for things that you shouldn't feel bad for. So it's all interconnected. So once you start taking your gut health absolutely seriously, then you're going to keep falling for this shit, and you're going to still keep getting controlled by other shit. Okay? So when you start getting your gut health in check, let me promise you that there are going to be moments where there are going to be things that come up to test whether or not you are still falling back into those old patterns. The habits don't break just overnight, and it's like, poof, haha, you wake up magically and you're like, yay, I'm all better, I'm totally different. No, it's a process, and you have to actually work through it. So, for example, because of the fact that I gotta switch my chair around or my foot's gonna fall asleep. So, for someone that usually feels bad for a lot of things, like, okay, I would feel bad for shining too bright. I would feel bad because of the fact that I was smart and I could do things and that good things would happen to me, that I never talked about my accomplishments. I never openly discussed, hey, you know what, this is what I'm doing. Or I just got this. I never did that because I was so, I felt bad that when these things happened, that other people were going to be, jealous or envious and try and do things to me. And as that may happen, I just don't care anymore. Go ahead and do whatever you want to me, because it's just not going to do anything to me. I'm going to still be happy. I'm still going to shine bright, just like the little freaking diamond I am. And so should you. It's one of those things that you should not feel bad for having accomplishments. You should not feel bad for starting new things and wanting more for your life and from your life. Let's be real. So, with that, here's a few other examples. I felt bad if I didn't hold the door open for someone walking behind me. And I was at work the other day, and it was so funny because I was holding the door, and the girl walking through wasn't really even paying attention, and she was like, oh, okay, thank you. And I was like, yeah, no problem. I would have felt really bad if I closed the door and it hit you right in the face. And she's like, why? It would have been my own fault for not paying attention. And it was like, well, damn, okay, take that. That definitely, kicked it into a different gear. And then today, this one's a funny one. Today, my daughter and I, we were going out and we were shopping. We just went back to school shopping the other day. So Saturday was a whole mess of shopping. That's another one. I used to feel bad for spending money on myself. I could spend money on the kids because they were more important, but me buy a dress for myself? What? Come on now. I can't do that. They're more important. No, I used to feel bad for even spending too much money on myself. So, that's one of the things that I pushed through yesterday. We went back to school shopping for my oldest daughter and for my two other kids, and I'm going back to school too. So I get new clothes too. You know what? I am too. Okay. So we did all that yesterday, and, of course it felt uncomfortable. Of course it did. And I sat with it, and I was like, you know what? It's not the end of the world, and nothing's going to happen. So here we are, pushing past those fears and dealing with the emotions in the moment, because even my kids felt bad. They were like, we're so sorry that it's costing you so much money. It's okay. This is important. You guys are important just as I am important. So it's going to be fine. We're going to be able to pay bills still. We're going to be able to, everything's going to go fine. Everything's going to be perfectly fine. So don't worry about it. It's same with the fact that your gut health is associated with your worry with your anxiety and all of that and dealing with that, it's all interconnected. There's so much that is so interconnected that when you start working on those things, everything will start to kind of fall into place even more. So like I was saying earlier about how today we were going back to school shopping and I needed to use the restroom, and I went into the big one. There were 2 stalls, okay? There were 2 stalls, and I chose the big stall, okay? The handicap stall. Lo and behold, the moment that I choose the handicap stall and everything like that, another person comes in, and it's this older woman that has a walker, and she needs the handicap stall, but I'm already in it. So she's like, okay, and she goes into the other stall. I'm laughing about this right now because, like, think of the odds of that shit happening. You know what I mean? Like, the odds of that happening in the fact that the day that I'm, like, the times and day that I'm working on my guilt and I'm bringing in all these little tests to, like, see how I react to it and how I feel about it. And in the moment, whenever I came out of the stall and I saw the chair, and I was just like, oh my gosh, what? And I'm looking at my daughter who's standing right there, and she's just snickering. She's just like, we got to go. And I'm like, so we're like mouthing to each other about this, and I have to wash my hands. And I go, we're getting ready to go, and there's no like papers to dry, so I put it under the blow dryer, and she's just like, what are you doing? Like, come on. So we get out of there, and she's just giving me shit. She was just like, so you had to choose the big stall, didn't you? You just had to choose it. And I'm like, well, yeah, wouldn't you? I mean, you walk into the bathroom and you've got 2 choices of the stalls. Which one are you going to choose? Are you going to choose the big one? Or are you going to choose the little one? No, you want the roomy one, right? You're not going to be like, oh, well, just someone else could possibly come in here and need that one. So I'm going to choose the little one just in case. And usually nobody comes in that needs that stall, right? Right? Let's be really honest. So this is going to sound crazy. This is going to sound crazy what I tie it into. But it's just like with things in life. Honestly, like in life, are you going to choose the mediocre path, playing it small path, the small stall? I love how I'm like tying this in. But are you going to choose the big stall? And are you going to feel bad for choosing the big stall? No, you shouldn't feel bad for choosing the big stall, okay? Everybody wants the roomy big stall. Everybody. I mean, how many times do you walk into a bathroom and you see the stalls and you see the big one is taken and you're like, man, the big one's taken. I gotta go into the tiny little one that barely has any room. Come on now. Let's be real. Let's be real. I know we all think it, and I know we all do it. So when I left out of there and she's giving me shit, sorry, that was just baracha. Yeah, this is me on a regular basis with my kids. She was joking with me left and right, and I'm like, sweetheart, you would be in that same stall right there at that moment. And she's like, yeah, you're right. I really would. And I'm like, okay, so you can't give me shit for this. She's like, I know, but it's just so funny, the situation. And I was like, I know, right? And it's so funny because I'm working on my guilt. And I told her all about it because, like, everything that I always felt guilty. Guilty was like a common feeling that I always had in my pit of my stomach. Like, it was just this knot that stayed there forever and would never go away. I felt bad whenever I would get something. You know, I would feel bad for shining too bright. I would feel bad for, not being able to provide more for my kids. You know, I would feel bad for the fact that they had a shitty dad. I would feel bad for, I would feel bad for things that weren't even my fault, but I would still feel bad for them. I would still feel bad for them. I would feel bad for, animals that were being mistreated. Always feeling bad for every single thing. And so it was something that it was just a constant normal feeling. So now I'm pushing past that. I'm not, it's not completely gone. It's okay to feel it, but it doesn't have to be debilitating. It doesn't have to control you. It doesn't have to stop you from getting the things that you want in life. Because I felt bad for the fact that I wanted more from my life, and I was able to do more and be able to go out and achieve more. People would make a comment about how I was just this overachiever, or I was just, always out there, go, 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 go. And it was well, yeah, because you got to in life. If you want anything, you got to go get it. And so I would feel bad about it. And so it's once you start working on your gut health, you're going to have, even today, with the whole, my gut health and everything. And I would normally feel bad if I did not follow my, healthy eating for, for a day. If I fell off of not eating healthy, and I ate crap for a whole day, I would feel bad. I would be oh man, and it was the voices. There were little voices that were always going off too. So this is one of those tricks that I love to use, is my guilt, my anger, my shame, my OCD, my ADHD, whatever you want to, anything that you can classify as a feeling, or even something you struggle with, I guess, because OCD, anxiety, depression, those kind of things, being able to take a step back from them and knowing that those things are not you, and being able to talk about them like they are one of those not up, but inside out. There we go. I was waiting for it to pop up. But one of those inside out characters that are happening inside your head, but they aren't you. You know what I mean? They are not you. They are just a part of you. They are a piece of you that is trying to be in control in that moment, and doesn't need to be in control in that moment. So, my guilt would constantly tell me that I should feel bad for that, or my guilt would constantly tell me that I have to, apologize. Oh, that was a big one. I have to apologize for everything. I have to apologize for, taking up space. I have to apologize for bumping into someone, or for being in the way. If you are standing somewhere and people come to you and you have been there first, and they want to get around you, then they can ask you to move. You are not in the way. You are not someone that is standing there and you are, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm in the way. No, you were there first. So let them ask you to move if need be. If you were there first and you are doing something there, then you don't have to apologize for being in the way. You are not taking up space. Okay? You have the right to be here too. You have the right to be anywhere. You have the right to go after what you want. You have the right to enjoy your life. It's a magical thing when you start working on your gut health, and whenever you start working on your guilt, because it sometimes can be so controlling that we don't even know that it's controlling. It's just there. It's what was normal for you because of the fact that it has been it's been there for so long. So it's normal now because you've been feeling it for a very long time, but you don't have to. You can let it go. You just got to work through it. You got to start taking the steps in actually talking about it and facing it and connecting with it. Okay? So, just wanted to point this out to you, is the fact that once you start working on having a healthier gut and you start to work on, if you really want to work on something, start diving deep into it. Start researching it. Google knows everything. So go Google it. YouTube has a million other videos on there about a lot of things that you could look up. So start diving down those rabbit holes. And I know that I am, because I know right now I am researching all of this stuff about, gut health and about hormones and about allergy testing and stuff like that, just to try and get a better idea of what is good for me, because what I say is good for me may not be good for you. So it's good for you to do the research. So, I almost forgot about this one. Don't feel guilty for doing something to better your life as well. Okay? Case in point, I had a fitness instructor that I was using, and you know what? I had a different one that was training me during him being gone, and I liked the second one better because it felt like he was a little bit more my style. And so for me to ask to switch trainers was a big deal, because of the fact that, normally I would have felt bad for saying, I'm sorry, but I don't want to be with you anymore. Even being asked out, like someone asking for my number, and normally I would feel really bad for turning a guy down because of the fact that I understand what it's like to be in that position, because I've been in that position before and been treated like crap, but I was nice about it, and I normally would feel bad about turning someone down, and it was like, no, thank you, but I appreciate the offer. It's even with the fact that me changing trainers, it was like I didn't feel bad for choosing someone that was more my style. Even if it hurts his feelings, it's my choice. So it's just like there's a lot of little things that you have to really work on to increase that tolerance to guilt, I would say. Being around people that constantly will talk about how rough their life is and all that stuff, and not allowing it to make you feel bad, really increases that guilt. You won't feel bad. Not trying to give advice and just sitting there and not even having to even listen to it, just ignoring it, will build up that tolerance. There are so many ways to build it up and to work on it. It's a beautiful thing once you finally actually start to work on your gut health and build up your tolerance to guilt, because then people have less of an ability to play on your heartstrings. And that's a big deal. That's a huge deal, because realize nobody likes being messed with. Especially people that have big hearts. We hate it whenever people play on our emotions and toy with us. When you can break that chain, that's freedom right there. That's freedom right there. Because emotional manipulation is a huge deal. Especially for people that are empathic and, feel bad and feel a lot. So, to work on that, work on your gut health, and work on not feeling guilty for a lot of the things that you normally feel guilty for. So, I wish you luck. And you got it. Stay beautiful and stay blessed, because you are both beautiful and you are blessed. And I love you, and good night.